Okay, guys, I mentioned that I'm going to be doing some project videos over 2019. In this video, I'm going to show you my design process. I don't really have one, but this is what I'm going to use in setting up the soap melter injector thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but my mom does soap, and the soap she needs to melt and have it basically injected into these little packages. So that's what we're going to work on here. If you like what you see, or if you enjoy the channel, subscribe so you can see the rest of this series. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be start to finish. From design all the way up to making the part. There's probably going to be making the machine. There's going to be failures along the way, I'm sure. This is the first time trying to record Fusion, so it didn't grab all the screens and stuff, but it's not a Fusion tutorial. It's really like just my work process, so sorry if there's issues with Fusion. I'll try to fix them next time. Now that I realize what they are, the screens aren't popping up, so you can't see any of the actual functions I'm doing. But anyway, hopefully we'll get that fixed next time. Enjoy, subscribe. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, guys, I don't design many parts myself, so I don't really have a process. But this is the process I'm going to use now. What I'm going to do is design this, roughly sketch it up in block shapes and see if I see any problems with it, kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And then if I like it, then I'll go ahead and create actual components out of it. As I go along, I'm going to try to explain what I'm doing here. I'm creating a sketch on the top plane now. I'm not proficient with Fusion 360, so this really isn't a tutorial about that. This is basically just an overview of how I'm coming up with this, and whether good, bad, whatever. This is just my process. So. Alright, so I'm going to try to use some bar stock as a manifold here. We're going to do like a 1x8, kind of just, I'm not really sure. None of these numbers mean anything right now. They're just kind of some rough numbers. Alright, so I'm going to convert this into construction lines here because I've got some other stuff I need to do. We're going to go ahead, there's going to need to be some kind of container on the top that holds the soap. We're going to want it to be empty. Again, I'm not great at Fusion or CAD work in general, so I'm sure there's way better ways to do this kind of stuff. Alright, so there's the gist of my, what I'm going to start with here. Let's see. So we're going to create a vessel. I want about 51.1 fluid ounce shots in here. I'm not sure if that's what this volume is going to be. I have no idea, but for now, this is just for trying to get an idea. Alright, so we're going to join these two to create a little bottom on here. Okay. 50 thou or so. Alright, so now we got a little container. We can get rid of that for now. We are going to edit this sketch. We will convert these into construction lines. And these back. Alright. Alright, so now we have a little container. We'll hide that for now. And we have this little rectangle. Let's go ahead and extrude this down to 1 inch. Oops. So that gives us 1x1 bar stock. Again, this is not, I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but this is how I do it. I create a sketch on the face here. On the front here, I want some little, well, I'll explain them here in a minute. No. 0.750. That actually looks good. No, let's make that a little bigger. Alright, so there's going to be syringes, for the lack of a better term, that come out of the side of here. I'll show you. That are going to, well, we'll just make them. Alright, so we're going to pull this out. Again, these numbers mean nothing. Just going to go with 3 inches. Sketch here. This means nothing again. Just like this. Since I'm recording this screen, it's being my computer's being weird. Okay, now I didn't pay attention to what I did over here. I wanted this to actually be a separate piece from this. So if you select something down here in the timeline, you can see where it is, and go back and edit it. I don't want this to be the same piece as this, because I'm going to mirror it, so I'm going to make this a new body. Alright, so now that gives me the ability to pattern this along. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I want that to go along this direction. I only want it to be one row, and I want it to come that's one. I want 5 of them. That looks pretty decent. Again, none of this is just to get an eyeball on things. Alright, so far, this is what we have. A manifold. Alright, so there's going to be a hole that goes down here. I'm not going to CAD that in. That connects these two. There's going to be holes at either. Well, we'll just make them. There's going to be holes at either end here. So I don't have a real clear idea on what I'm actually going to do with this thing. I just have like a fairly rough idea. Alright, so I'm just going to project that from the other end over. I think there's faster ways to do all of this, but, you know. And this is basically just creating something for show. Okay. So there'll be a hole here. There'll be some kind of threaded or taper something, so I can either replace these if I want. I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary or not, but this piece needs to come off, I think. There'll be a big hole drilled all the way through here. These are going to be big, like, I don't know what you call them, but threaded nuts that, you know, close the ends off. These will be able to come out so that you can shoot hot water through and clean all this out. So we'll get back to that in a little bit. I'm not quite finished here, so actually we're going to go ahead and delete this because I forgot to do something. So we're going to go create a plane off of here, reference off of here. Okay, Alright, so that gives us a plane right on the bottom of this piece here. Come in and put, and this is not critical dimensions or anything. Okay. So, basically, this is going to be a syringe. Well, let's finish it out. Let's pattern it back over. Close enough. Alright, so this is the basic design, and I'll adjust it as I feel before I actually start making components. But this will be just a part that I pull off of McMaster. So I'll bring something in that fits this and then redo the whole to match that. This I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to make or if I'm going to get something welded in a trapezoidal shape. That's all to come. We'll figure all that out. These are going to be like syringes. This end over here, they're going to be completely, I don't know how do you, self-contained units. They'll have a threaded nozzle up here and then a check valve at the end. They'll just thread into the open reservoir here, the manifold. That way, if I need to take them out to clean them or, you know, replace them or, you know, create different sizes, say, you know, she decides she wants to have, you know, way bigger soap injections, we can do all that later. Another thing I want to do is back here, there's going to be some kind of threaded nut system, some kind of system here that will adjust how far back the piston can go. Therefore, you know, how much soap it'll suck up. The size of this tube will give me the basic amount of, you know, liquid, and then I can fine tune it down from there. So the overall thing here is this is going to be some container that needs to be heated. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy off the shelf components for that, thermocouplers and I forget what the heat bands are. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. But all of this basically here needs to be warm, you know, close to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. All of this can actually be enclosed in something. The only part that really needs to stick out are these nozzles here. But there's going to be something that connects all of these together. It's going to be pulled back and forth. The check valve will pull this way, or allow the flow of soap into here, into each one of these chambers. As it gets to the end of its stroke and decides to eject, it will push back this way. This check valve will close, this check valve will open, and the soap will then pour out into the little containers here. The containers are going to be put in manually for now. We'll get into all of that, but key features are being able to clean it. So I think what I'm going to want to do is hook up some hoses to run hot water or something, and have these pistons, you know, activate quickly and put a bucket down below so that it can basically cycle through a bunch of hot water and clean itself out really quick. You know, all that stuff will come later, but this is the basic design. I think it's okay. I got to do some measurements and figure a few things out. But from here, I know what I want to do with this piece, so I'll go ahead and design out this as a component. I don't think I'll break each individual piece down. I may, we'll see, into components, and then I'll do videos of that. So I'm going to try to do a video every week, guys, on this, until it's, well, I don't know if I'll be able to do one on this every week, but because, I may not be able to do this, work on this project every week. We got the shop and all that we're waiting on, but anyway, I hope to do some kind of video once a week, and at least try to work on a project or get something out there. Anyway, if you guys think there's a better way to do this, by all means, let me know. I was thinking of a pressurized system, but it gets a lot more complicated, and I hadn't done really any research. I just thought this might be a good way to keep a pretty, measured amount of soap. So, if you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know. I need I haven't figured out any of the heating or how I'm going to do any of that stuff. So, any comments are welcome. Guys, thanks a lot.